Hello, my name is Sonali. I welcome you back to another episode of Around the World in 7 Days. The world map has been changing for centuries, and after the end of the Second World War, another major change was seen, which gave rise to a conflict, which is yet to come to an end. Actually, on May 14, 1948, a new country by the name Israel was formed. This was considered by the Palestinians as an occupation of their country. Since then, a permanent series of conflicts between Israel and Palestinians was born, which is still going on. Although many efforts have been made to end this conflict, but they have not yielded any result. This includes efforts from America as well as the United Nations. However, now China is also staking its claim to become a middleman in this matter. It has repeated this point several times over the years. After befriending Iran and Saudi Arabia, China is again expressing its desire to broker an agreement on the biggest issue of the century. Last December, Chinese President Xi Jinping met Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas during his visit to Saudi Arabia. Jinping pledged an early, just and sustainable solution to the Palestine issue. In view of this, President Abbas recently made a state visit to China. According to the Chinese Foreign Ministry, he is the first Arab head of state to be received by China this year. The question is, why is China showing so much interest in making an agreement between Israel and Palestine? What interest is it trying to fulfill? Is China highlighting the US failure? Let's try to understand. These questions are being raised because in the last April, Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang told his Israeli and Palestinian counterpart that his country is ready to help in peace talks. After this, there was a stir in the global media. It was speculated that the way China had made viable the friendship between Iran and Saudi Arabia, who are called arch enemies of West Asia, perhaps it could do something similar in the case of Israel and Palestine. It can find a suitable solution to the unresolved issues between the two countries. However, experts believe that through such an offer, China wants to highlight America's failure in West Asia. With such an exercise, it wants to project itself as a global leader. America has been playing an important role in the Gulf. America is considered to have a lot of influence in this area through Saudi Arabia. But when it came to friendship with Iran, Saudi sidelined America. In this case, Saudi preferred China instead of America. Similar is the case of Palestine. America has been trying for decades to restore peace between Israel and Palestine, but it has only met with disappointment. The resolutions of the United Nations have also been ineffective in this matter, while the two-state solution proposed by Europe is also not giving any hope. In such a situation, if China is repeatedly offering mediation, then it is being seen as its strategic expansion in West Asia. In fact, for the past several years, China is actively engaged in penetrating the strategic fort of America in this area. It has been successful in this effort to such an extent that now it has made inroads in Israel, one of the very close partners of America. Economically, China-Israel relations have grown substantially over the past decade, nearly doubling from $9.8 billion in 2011 to $18.2 billion in 2021. Whereas during the same 10-year period, Chinese investment in Israel was around $10.6 billion. If viewed from this perspective, China's relations with Israel are more important than its relationship with Palestine. But China's aspirations appear to be much more than that, because if peace is established between Palestine and Israel, or both reach a conclusion and compromise, it will open more doors of possibilities for China. It will enable China to take forward its ambitious Belt and Road project to Palestine. At the same time, it can be successful in securing its economic interest with both the countries. In view of this, China proposed in 2017 to launch a China-Palestine-Israel trilateral dialogue mechanism and coordinate and carry forward major projects to assist Palestine. However, China will also face many challenges in mediating between Israel and Palestine. The biggest challenge is the nature of the conflict itself. However, deal brokered between Iran and Saudi Arabia by China gives some hope that it will also manage to bring closer Israel and Palestine. However, to what extent this possibility will turn into a reality remains to be seen. That's all in today's episode. See you again in the next episode. But before that, let's note down the question based on today's story. Discuss the reasons behind China's efforts to mediate in Israel-Palestine conflict.